Okay, continuing here in the Memches Devarim in the 48 ways, the next one is something called B'miut Derech Eretz, when a person decreases Derech Eretz. Derech Eretz literally translated means the Derech, the way of the Eretz of the land. But what's it referring to? So he brings that over here from Rashi. Rashi says, Shelo yematzu b'nei adam b'shuk. You should not be found hanging out with everybody in the shuk, in the marketplace. V'chein kasav ben Hashem Tov, the ben Hashem Tov says, she is boydei adam. A person should find time to themselves. V'lo yis'arev im ha'am. They should not be so mixed in with everybody else. Ela beis ha'hechrach hagadol, unless it's a time that you need to be there. Which means that if a person is too much hanging out, shooting the breeze, sitting in the coffee shop, sitting in the wherever else people are hanging out and doing things, and you're schmoozing all the time, and you're talking all the time, and you're very much nimshach, very much drawn after everybody else, it's difficult to get into learning. Your mind is, you know how much geschmack lashon hara you hear in the coffee shop? You know how much good stuff you speak to your friends about that's the opposite of what Torah is? And then you sit down to try to learn, and your mind is wandering in the world of did he really say he's going to become president the next time around? It can't be such a thing. How are you going to be able to sit? He will, yeah. How could it be that a person is going to sit and learn afterwards when they're in the world of derech eretz? They're around people and around situations and around talking all the time that is going on. So says the Mishnah, his is being on your own, being by yourself, being where there's sheket, where there's quiet, where you can think, where you can get in touch with yourself. That would be a segula, that would be a way that a person comes to learn more Torah. The next one is b'miut ta'anug, a person decreases their ta'anug, the pleasure that they have in this world. This one is pretty much self-explanatory, but we'll see some of the Mefarshim will write the following. The Maral says, Sha'aroi devachar ta'anugim, someone is chasing after the pleasures of this world. Hatanugim agufniim, the physical pleasures, the bodily pleasures of this world. Harihu bal guf ubal chaymer, he's a bal guf, he's just a body and a very physical person. Ve'eroi sheikna chachma shehepach haguf. How is he going to be worthy of acquiring chachma, wisdom, if he's the opposite of which is the opposite of the body? Meaning the Torah itself is supernal. The Torah is the das elokis, it's the mind of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem is not a ball of pleasure in the body. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mufresh, he's separate from this physical world. So if you want to get in touch with the Torah, which is the das elokis, like the mind of Hashem, and that's the deepest chachma, the wisdom there is in the world, so how is a person who's been chasing after his taivas, his desires constantly, how is he going to come in contact with ruchni, with true spirituality? I had a friend many, many, many years ago. His grandfather was Israeli. They were completely chiloni, completely secular, no connection at all to Yiddishkeit. And he told us that his grandfather once took him on what he felt was one of the greatest escapades of his life together with his grandfather. And that was, his grandfather called him one, I'll say it was Sunday, but who knows, it could have been a Saturday morning, and he told his son, Josh, grandson Josh, he said, you and I are going to have a blast today. We have to go find the perfect cinnamon bun. And he said, we drove to every bakery and to every Cinnabon, whatever that place is called, and they went to look for the perfect cinnamon bun. A person who's spending their Saturday or their Sunday or their Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, looking for the perfect cinnamon bun in this world, is going to have a very hard time tasting and enjoying the sweetness of the Torah. He quotes the Gemara in Saita. We didn't get there yet in Daf Yomi. We will get there, Bez Hashem, soon. Misharabu Bali Hana Nisavsu Adinim. When there were a lot of Bali Hana, people that were looking for pleasure in this world, so the dinim, the halachas, the laws, became crooked. V'niskalkula maisim, their actions became niskalkula, they became damaged. Ve'inayich walam, there was no peace in the world. And Rashi explains over there, what does it mean? Shemitoich shem bali hana, since that these people are bali hana, they're always looking for another pleasure here in this world. E matrichin atzmam la'ayin bidin. They will not spend the time necessary to look deep into the halach, into the Gemara, into the laws that they are learning. What is asur, what is heter, what is permissible, what is not permissible. How are they going to give a final psak to the tzibur, to the congregation? Because they're too busy with the hana, with their personal pleasures. And because of that, their actions, their deeds became damaged. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has no pleasure from the world, and the world itself has no peace, no rest. So when a person begins to indulge in the physical pleasures of this world, and Torah itself is something that is beyond the physical, it's all ruchni, it's all spiritual, meaning it teaches us how to live our spiritual our lives. So then it becomes very difficult to make a connection. Now he does just point out from the Midrash Shmuel that it says b'miut tanug. It says you should limit your tanugim, your pleasure. Doesn't mean that you have to give up every pleasure in this physical world altogether. You still have to eat. You still have to drink. You still have to procreate. You still have to enjoy a sunny day. You still have to look at beautiful nature. Even if you decide on the camping trip to sleep in a cabin and not outside in the hills like everybody else, but you still have to enjoy what there is out there. And therefore, we are memayit, we are lessening our shaykhis, our connection with the tanugim, with the pleasures of this world, for the sake of being able to advance in the real pleasure. The real pleasure that we have is the mesikos, is the sweetness of Torah. And I'll just leave you with one more, and that way I think we catch up to the nights of Sfiras Omer. It says, this last one that we're going to see today is b'miut shena, decreasing one's sleep. So you have had plenty of sleep during the drasha between Mincha and Maariv, so now you can give up a little bit of extra sleep tonight when you go home. And that is, as the Maral writes, the similar idea that he said before, Sheni inyan gufani b'yoseh, sleep is the most physical thing you can do. Yeah, like the Gemara tells us that Shena is sleep is 1/60th of Misa, of death. So why would a person want extra sleep? They want extra death in this world? And so he brings over here a very beautiful idea. And this is from the Sefer Mishnas Chachamim. Sheyesh lisna hayshena. A person should really despise sleep. Why? Ki ein lecha ibud zman yosem mi'osa zman sheyoshev, because there's no greater loss of time in a person's day than when a person is yoshev by adam kepager muvas, when a person is lying like a dead carcass on the bed, and he's not doing anything. What is a person doing when they're sleeping? They're doing nothing. They're sleeping. Okay. Now, everybody speaks about how much sleep do you need. Each one to his own. The Rambam says 8 hours. He seems to say, though, after 50 years old, it gets much less. And every person, no matter who they are, how old they are, they should know what their body, what their constitution needs, so they can wake up in the morning like a lion and be able to serve Hashem. But a person's trying to be mamait a little bit less sleep for the sake of being able to learn HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah. And if a person does that, he even brings over from Tiferes Yisrael, just one last thing, almost sounds scientific what he's writing, and that is that if the more that a person sleeps, besides that he loses time, his mind becomes weakened, and his sharpness will end up being lost. You ever see a guy that just slept like a donut? Yeah? You see that guy when he wakes up in the morning, it takes him 3 hours to wake up. He's up, he's awake, his eyes are seemingly they're awake, but his brain is like, it's like mush for the next couple of hours. Because the more that you sleep, the more that your mind continues to restrict itself and sleep. However, im yashem pachas me'aroi, and if you sleep less, gam kein mazig ma'od legufa nefesh, if you sleep too little, it's also going to damage you. So you have to find the balance that is good for you in your life, whether it's 4 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours or 7 hours or 8 hours. Everybody has to know themselves what they can handle. And in that way, Be'ez Hashem, your mind will be sharp and will be able to focus and will be able to learn Torah better.